you'd like to grow strawberries like these, without any chemical fertilisers or pesticides, watch this step-by-step video.
Okay, this morning we're going to show you how to grow strawberries in pots. I like to grow them in a fairly deep pot. I've tried to do them in gutters and in hanging baskets, but they always dry out. So if you've got a nice deep pot, you've got plenty of reservoir of soil and water. What you need today is obviously a fairly large pot. We've got some potting mix, good quality potting mix that's going to retain water, some cow manure, which is fairly low in nutrients, but it just gives that fibrousness to the soil. We'll be looking at how to fertilise your strawberries once they're planted up, plus some mulch and some good quality strawberry plants. I like to buy certified plants. This ensures that they're going to be virus free. Okay, so once you've got your pot 3/4 of the way full, we just take some cow manure, put a good layer of cow manure all over that. Top up with your potting mix. Even it out, press it down nice and firm. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can either put your plant straight into here this now, or I always like to first mulch because that gives you a nice even layer of mulch on top. Again, I like to use sugarcane because from my experience it's very weed free and you don't tend to get any weed problem with it. Whereas other things, particularly paddock growing stuff such as straw, lucerne hay, tends to have some kind of weed seed in it and can infect your garden. Okay, and you just clear a bit of your mulch around. That's nice and friable. Take your strawberry plant into the potting mix so it's nice and firm. Tamp around it. In this size pot you're probably looking at 5, maybe 6 plants. These will give you a good number of strawberries, as you can see from the shot of the first pots that we showed you, as to the number of strawberries you're going to get. You will find that they will multiply, and from that multiplication you will get another crop once they start to bear runners. Okay, water those in well. And wait for them to take. I like to put a couple of doses of sea salt, half strength, probably 2 or 3 doses on, probably a few days apart for the first couple of weeks. Then a couple of weeks of half strength power feed to give you knots of foliage, and then back to the sea salt once a week, half strength once a week, which is going to give you flowers and fruit. Okay, now the issue with strawberries, or the major issue I find, is that birds and slugs and things want to attack them all the time. You never get any crop. So what we've devised here is a method of how to protect your crops fairly easily. What you're going to need is a piece of polypipe with some holes drilled in it, 2 pieces of conduit pipe, and then some stiff curtain rod cut into sections, and of course some net. Now we're just going to put that quickly together to show you how you can put it over your strawberry pot. Now this pot that I've got is on casters, so you can actually wheel it round. So we're just going to wheel that into position. Put your frame on around it. And then you can put your netting over the top. Now you can obviously cut it nice and neatly and have it so that it just fits, or you can just grab a bit of netting and throw it over. I tend to find that birds won't, it only has to flop like that, birds won't get in underneath it. With your strawberries being up off the ground, you're not going to have the problems with earwigs or with slugs and snails. So you make that really basically eliminates any of your pests. And that's it.
This is typically how many strawberries I would harvest from 4 pots of strawberries when they're in full production. At other times, I'd be picking at least 2 punnets a week. This was very easy to do, so why don't you give it a go?